What is going on, everyone? It's OxxyOG, and today, my boy Brann right here and we took down the hardest difficulty delve boss of Season 3 on Week 1, Ky'Veza, with a 2 question mark difficulty. Turned out to be one of my favorite solo experiences I've ever had in this game. Very fun, very challenging. Felt like I was playing a Dark Souls game the whole time. No forgiveness on the mechanics, you gotta learn it and just tough it out. And being a bit undergeared for it made it feel that much more fun. So I want to talk about my gear, my talents, Brann setup, and just my overall strategy, and then we'll get into the mechanics, and you guys can see the run. If you want to skip right to the run, I'll have a chapter in here for it, so feel free to go ahead and skip ahead. But let's get into the rhyme and reason. So, first thing you'll notice, I have 14% versatility. So some of you might look at that and be like, ooh, why he's got so much verse? Okay, let me tell you. So, every time you go through an intermission with Ky'Veza, she does a bit more damage each time for the rest of the fight. So, as you get close to the end of the fight, this is a 7-minute fight. It was a 7-minute and 30-second fight for me with this gear. She starts to really hurt, not just her abilities, but her auto attacks. And so having this verse really helped me survive that. I put on this Priory necklace that I got a drop, luckily, from, and then I also have my Radiant Necromancer's band, which has a lot of verse on it. And so I took a little bit of hits on my haste. You can see it's only at 20%. But to be honest, I already knew that if I wanted to kill her, I just needed to live her auto attacks, because all of the mechanics were survivable and I could do it as long as I need to. It's just about her not just melting me down with that. So this is the gear that I ran with. Some of it is from Lucky Drops and M0s, so take that as you will. But let's talk a little bit about talents and Brann setup. So for talents, I took the pretty standard raid single target exclusive talents. It's a bit annoying when I get an egg that spawns, like a delve egg that I can hatch, but I didn't even worry about that much. I'd usually let my blade storm break them or something like that. You will notice I took second wind instead of bounding stride. I didn't really want to use leap at all because I tend to leap into terrible spots, or when I leap, I get like discombobulated and then mess up. So instead, I decided to focus on my own, like, step micro mechanics. Like, I wanted to make sure if I'm going to be walking somewhere, it's going to be with an intent, and it's going to be because I need to live, whether that's going to be backpedaling or like a regular walk. I tended to focus on backpedaling in this fight, and I'll go over why in a bit. But I took second wind because it can help you heal up during the intermission, and any other times that you might have some damage downtime where you're not getting hit by Ky'Veza, you'll just regen health. So I felt like it was a no-brainer. And then we'll talk about the Brann setup that I took. So I did send Brann in as a healer. The little potions that he throws on the ground are like unmatched. They're so useful as long as you keep an eye for when they spawn. As far as curios, I didn't have a lot of options to pick from, just whatever I got through delve drops so far in the season. I went with Hatterang, so this does some damage. So you can see here in my kill pool, he did about 14 million damage with Hatterang as like top damage, which is nice. And then for on top of that, he also can apply a debuff to the enemy that makes them take 20% increased damage. So massive. I enjoyed this curio a lot. Didn't have a lot of options, but this one worked really well. And then audio amplification crystal is going to be basically, I guess Brann just says things, and when he says them, it gives you a buff of some sort. I don't know what the buffs are, but all the other ones were kind of meh, so I just decided to go with this one. So that's how I went with Brann. He trolled me this pool, so I hope you guys enjoy that because it was trash. But regardless, it was a lot of fun. Let's get into the mechanics, and then we'll get in the pool. Okay, the first ability to talk about here is Nexus Daggers. This is the first ability you'll see as you charge into the fight. So Ky'Veza will do 4 lines in a fan out from where she is, and then also summon clones all over the room that will do them as well. If you get hit by a line, you're absolutely one shot. There's no living it. So, couple things. Number 1, you need to make sure that you know when this is coming. Right once you know that Nexus Daggers are coming, you need to start circling Ky'Veza. This will make it so that that fan, because the closer you are to a clone or Ky'Veza, the harder it is to dodge it. You can see where all 4 of them kind of converge, and it's a it's a no man's land all in that area, rather than as you get further away from it, they're more spread. So immediately you need to circle the boss as it comes out, and then you need to start making micro adjustments for any of the clones to spawn. One of the things I found the most helpful here was to use backpedaling. It isn't always the go-to, but in many instances, I would find myself overcorrecting and running into another line to try to dodge a line. And then lastly, as a tip for this, is to know what order they spawn in. I know it's a lot to keep track of, but if you know the order, then sometimes you can even stand on a line that's there that maybe just spawned and wait for one that is blocking a safe spot for you to go away, that you can then step in before the one that you're standing on top of goes away. The next ability is called Nether Rift. So basically with Nether Rift, there will be 3 circles. One goes on Brann, one is a pre-positioned one, and then you have a circle on you as well. You need to go to the safe part of the room and place the circle there in order to create a convergence zone in between the 3 points. Make sure that you keep a movement ability on hand for this. It's very important. In case Brann jumps onto your area, you may need to relocate quickly. And make sure that you're using a defensive for after the circles explode, because they do a decent amount of damage. An impending victory may be useful as well, or keep an eye out for any health potions that Brann puts on the ground. On to the hardest part of the fight, Dark Massacre. So Ky'Veza's going to spawn 6 shadows, starting with 1 and then like working up towards 6 one at a time. And the way to live this is to look directly at them before they dash at you. They'll put a red line between you and them when it's their turn to dash, and then you need to look at the next one and look at the next one as they spawn. So up to 6. They spawn completely randomly around you. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no predicting it. I have a couple of tips for this one, but at the end of the day, with this mechanic, you're just going to need to get used to it. It's a lot of mouse flicking, and it's intense. And by the end of the fight, my hands were shaking. It was crazy. So, tip number 1. Make sure that you pay attention to where the first 2 shadows are spawning. So, first shadow will spawn when Dark Massacre starts. And then the second shadow will spawn before the first one does its dash. This automatically tells you where you need to be looking to next. As each one after that spawns, 3, 4, 5, and 6, it's a lot. It sounds easier, I'm making it sound easier than it is. Try to use your peripheral vision to see how the others are spawning. The other 4, how they're spawning as you're doing the first look, the second look. Then you need to be kind of keeping in the back of your head, like, okay, now I have to look here, look here, look here. Figure out what works for you. I was doing like a little mini strafe and looking, and it felt like it was working a lot better. So those are my tips for Dark Massacre. It's tough, but once you get the rhythm down, you got it. I mean, you'll figure it out, but if you just take note of where the shadows are spawning beforehand, you can prepare your mouse movements in your brain before they even happen. So the last main ability that we're going to talk about is called Invoke the Shadows. So Ky'Veza's going to put 6 shadows in the middle of the room on each point of that middle hexagon-ish shape. And then during this intermission, they're going to dash 12 times to different areas. The one that she starts at, that is in a shadow, you need to follow that one and click it when all 12 dashes are complete and guess the right one, basically, in order for you to not get one-shot by Shadow Eruption. So a couple things. In my run, you'll see I don't have text bubbles, so I can't see her. She usually says something in a text bubble, and that kind of shows you, like, that's the one that you need to watch. I took that off because text bubbles were constantly, like, blocking the red line of Dark Massacre for me, and I kept dying because I just felt like I couldn't see what I needed to see from text bubbles, from Brann yapping. So I took text bubbles off. Instead, just watch for which part of this hexagon doesn't have a shadow on it when she starts it, and then that's your clone. When she goes there, that's your clone that you need to watch. Also, you can see she does like a wind up right before the dash in case you like lose track. So if you decide to turn text bubbles off, then that's how you can figure this out. But follow for 12 dashes and then click, and you're out of the intermission. This is why it takes second wind. You can get topped up here if you happen to be low from any of the mechanics from before. Couple of tips for Invoke the Shadows. So, number one, when my eyes weren't tired, I would just look at the very center of the room and follow with my peripheral vision where the shadow was dashing, and that felt really, really consistent. But after a bunch of pools, my eyes started to get a little tired, and then I started following the exact shadow because I felt like I kept losing it. So those are two different ways that you can follow it. If you're finding yourself having trouble following the shadow with just like watching the clone dash to each one, try looking at the very center of the room and just keep focus on the center and follow it with like light peripherals. It might work better for you. It worked really well for me at first, and then it stopped working. So keep that in mind. Okay, this is going to act as my too long don't watch section. So I'm going to rattle off some tips and tricks for this and just a little quick recap. So number one, Reaper will cause the boss to kill you if your health drops below 10%. Use health pots for emergencies and defensives in case you get low because you'll just insta-die. Number two, Ky'Veza's auto attacks hurt. If you stack up some verse, this can help you not just melt to death and get you through the fight because the other stats, while important, won't keep you alive. Number three, make sure that you're picking up and watching out for the health pots that Brann drops if you're bringing him in as a healer. Number four, turn off the text bubbles because Brann trolls and talks during Dark Massacre, and it got me killed like 100 times. You can just, for the intermission, invoke the shadows, just check where the boss goes to for the first time, and that shadow is the one where there's an empty space, the boss will go there, that's the shadow you need to watch for in the intermission. Use micro movement adjustments for Nexus Daggers, and for the first one, make sure that you circle the boss quickly so you don't die by that immediate fan. Save a movement ability for if Brann steals your spot during the Nether Rift so that you can jump away because he will not. He'll just get you all killed. That's his job for some reason. I thought he was an ally. And use top down for Dark Massacre. So angle your camera so that you're looking from top down because it helps to see as they spawn. Make sure that you're zoomed out because your peripherals need to pick up each individual shadow spawn. And lastly, just make sure you're taking immediate note of the first and then second shadow spawn in Dark Massacre so that you already know the first two and then watch for the other four as they spawn in a certain order so that you have an idea where you need to move your mouse in sequence rather than figuring it out at the 0.5 second last fly. So good luck. Hope you all kill Ky'Veza as soon as possible. And let's go ahead and watch the kill pool. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more content. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.
Peeled. Full